podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
All right, here for the weekend pod with Daniel. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm very good. Yeah, United won, so we don't have to talk about a bunch of dickheads losing a game for once. Seems like a rarity these days. But yeah, all good, although winter has come here. It's cold and wet. It's very sad because it'll be like that until next June or July.
Oh, my days.
Yeah.
It was actually quite sunny in London today, although it isn't now. But it did sort of, as soon as kids went back to school, it immediately got cold, and my wife decided she had to put the heat. We've already had our first ruckus about the heating for the winter. Where I can't. I'll wear like a million layers to avoid giving my money away to utility warehouse.
Yeah.
Utility warehouse is feel like it looks every time. You see that word.
Well, there you go. You can give your money away to that if you want.
Yeah, we're already falling out about that. And it's just so it's funny. Like when she's in, it's like, how long can I leave it off or turn it off without her noticing, and then stick it back up again to keep it warm. And when I know she's coming back from work, how long realistically do I need to put the heating on before she gets home so that it will feel like it's not been off all day? These
important things. We have solar on our roof, so I haven't had an electricity bill for a few months, but it'll start ticking up shortly. More like when the clocks go back. Oh, no, it's not the clocks. It's more like October, November when it starts dying off, the solar production. But yeah, sad days.
Solar panels on your roof?
Solar panels on my roof, yeah.
Get you, man. Did you fit those?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this an environmental thing?
Well, sort of. And then we had to do the roof anyway because it was like 40 years old and needed it. And then you get a massive tax break. I mean, it's quite expensive doing it, but it was going to be expensive anyway because people, crew up on our roof for a couple of days. And so we worked out with the tax break and the fact that you can finance it at 0%. I don't know how this works out, but it does. It kind of made sense. Suddenly a check for $20,000 turns up from the federal government. You're like, oh, yeah, nice. The economics are a bit odd, but I think there's basically a lot of subsidies that make it worthwhile. And then you can sell your electricity back to the grid at the same price that you buy it. So it all works out all right. Just about. All right, should we talk about football? United won, Daniel. What is going on here? United won, and quite comfortably. I think, although two very different halves, weren't they? It was like first half, a little bit chaos ball, end to end, a lot of chances created. Second half actually had some control, and that was the most surprising bit, that barely looked like United weren't going to win.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I would split it rather probably into thirds, first half, or even into two unequal parts. The first half an hour, and then the rest. The first half hour was the same shite that we're used to. And if we're being kind, I guess, we could say international break, taking the players a bit of time to get back up to speed. Feels banal to say that the penalty save was the turning point, but the penalty save was the turning point. And for a keeper that doesn't save shots, it was a good save.
Yeah.
Actually. Otherwise, I think, what you say about the control is important, in that what we've got now is we've got quite a few players who are really intelligent and really good in small spaces. I mean, even the goalkeeper, in a sense. Then you've got Mazraoui, Mainu, Xerxes. I think there's one more as well. I've forgotten who it is now. Ericsson was in that team as well. And Ahmad, who are really deft and intelligent. And that then means that we can play in a slightly different way. Because we've been saying this all along. But on the one hand, you're like, fucking despise these dickheads. And on the other hand, what is this football? The manager's a clown. And on the other hand, you look at the 11 that's got on the park, and how on earth can you play modern football with this bunch of donkeys? seeing a defence without Lindelof or Maguire in it, or without Wan-Bissaka makes a massive difference. We are looking not bad at the back now.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right about the amount of technical players in the side. Should allow you to play more possession-based football. Funny thing is, Ahmad's now a fixture in the side, and he doesn't feel like a Ten Hag style player. Ten Hag tends to not like those players, in wide areas. He wants fast, direct, play the ball quickly to them. Although a lot of United's, the attack was unbalanced. It was more right than left. But I agree with you.
What a thing that is to say.
I know. It's been, that's not been the case for so long. We just looked better in possession, in tight spaces. The team was still stretched out for, as you say, like the first half an hour or so. And it just feels a lot better when people are closer together. I do think, and especially in the second half, Xerxes seemed to get into the game, and I like him in small spaces. He is technical. He holds the ball really well. He brings players into it. I'm not sure he looks like a goal scorer. He looks like an anti-goal scorer at the moment, but let's let him warm up, And
I know what you mean, but I'd be more concerned if he wasn't getting the opportunities, because in the last two games, yesterday there were two or three more. How on earth have you not scored from their chances? But I want that because I know that he's not going to keep missing tap-ins from 3 yards on the slide, that the next time that happens, he'll score. But my concern with him was more that, is he going to get himself into goal-scoring positions if he's dropping off and isn't electrifyingly quick? Is he going to get to the box in time? And I think we've seen that he is. Do you know what? What I was thinking watching him yesterday is that I never thought that I would compare any player to the player I'm about to compare Xerxes to, the player I think he reminds me of. And that player is Kanu. And the reason why I say that is because fighters talk about getting someone's timing. And the thing that was awkward about Kanu, and I think is also awkward to play against about Xerxes, is the timing is just totally different to anyone else. He almost plays on the offbeat. So the ball arrives at a time when defenders don't expect it to. And I think he'll take his teammates a little bit to get used to that. And it's almost that they just have to do the right thing and assume that he will find them, because a lot of the time he will. Mm-hmm. But like Kanu, it's just that ability to do things strange and unique pace that just, I wasn't expecting him to touch the ball there like that. And it was the same. I watched the highlights of him playing for Holland the other day, and the touches, the imagination particularly, were beautiful. And I was thinking, I don't feel like our dunces are going to be able to cope with the way that he likes to play, but we're not quite a team of dunces anymore. And
no, I guess the concern with him is him and Bruno going to get in each other's zone? I mean, because they are, in a sense, very similar players in the kinds of spaces they want to play in. But I didn't feel like that was the case. And you're right, he does get into forward positions quickly enough. I mean, he's got a kind of Harry Kane quality about him in that sense, hasn't he?
Like Eric also, not quick, but quick enough.
Yeah, quick enough. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Højlund's obviously a completely different profile of player. We were told he would be back after the international break. He wasn't, but I presume it's soon. Let's hope it's soon.
Arrow soon.
Yeah, I mean,
to use the correct notation.
Yeah, exactly. We live in an emoji world, don't we? But it'd be interesting to see whether they could both play together. I mean, he's certainly Xerxes, a player who could play off a wider area. I mean, he's perfectly comfortable doing that. It's not exactly how Ten Hag tends to want to play, as I said, but
he does like this kind of striker that Xerxes is, I think, more really than the kind of striker that Højlund is. And as we keep saying, Xerxes is a much better fit for the wide players that we have. But it's nice to have both, I think. And I said when we signed Xerxes that if he was good, bearing in mind the type of player he was, I wouldn't be surprised if he nabbed Højlund's starting space. And I guess at the moment he's the man in possession. But it is good that we've got these options.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I guess Luke Shaw wasn't back either, but is apparently training, as is Tyrell Malacia. Apparently, still got a leg, and that would tick the team up a little bit. Not like Dallow's playing badly. I just think, and in fact, I thought it was all right yesterday. It's just like he's always coming inside. He's always making extra midfielder. And then Ugarte, and then you've got basically the first 11 there, and it'll be quite soon, I think. And then are we good? I mean, can we get ahead of ourselves after one game and go, actually, we're not bad?
Against a team that have lost 4 out of 4.
Well, that's true.
We cannot. And also, even, I talked about the goalkeeper just before. You know that shot in the first half that Dibbling has, and he saves it?
Yeah.
But look where the ball goes. It's so classic Onana that there was no reason for that ball not to go around the post. But it doesn't. It goes back out into play. And he got a bit better in the second half of last season, but I think I'd be quite surprised if we're not buying a goalkeeper next summer. But what I would say still is it feels like we've probably got the lowest density of dense dickheads since Fergie at this point. That there's some real enterprise and imagination in the best of their play. And I mean, they've been like this for a long time. If I was thinking about like, it's a bit like my school reports where they're basically like capable of the very best and the very worst. And often with they're proximate to each other.
Yeah.
And although yesterday wasn't the very best, you can see that this should be a decent football team.
Let's talk about Matthijs de Ligt, because he was given man of the match and scored United's opening goal. He had a pretty terrible, made 2 really big mistakes against Bosnia and Germany for Holland.
The first one was terrible. The second one was bad, but Van Dijk is just not at the back post, and then has the audacity to diss in the interview afterwards.
I know, very, very Dutch, isn't it? Normally that happens at tournaments where they start shitting on each other right in the middle of the tournament.
And after midnight on Channel 33. There's one for the people who used to have cable.
Oh, dearie me. You put me off my game there, Daniel. Okay, so he has this couple of bad performances, makes some mistakes. Van Dijk craps on him, and then Karma truly is a bitch, and then of course, Forest do Liverpool yesterday, which was quite.
So we're quits with Liverpool over the last 2 weeks, and ultimately we probably, as Ryan Giggs would say, we would have took that.
Yeah, he scores a nice goal as well. I mean, it's almost off a set piece. His second phase off the set piece, and Bruno curls it in, and there's 3 players there. I mean, that's the thing with Southampton, they've had a lot of possession this season, but they look very open. I think that was
it was a really good header. The way, if you look at it looks on the first viewing, I didn't realise how good it was, but if you watch it in slow motion from the side, from the other angle, his body position when he heads the ball is not the kind of position from which you would ideally want to steer a header, and he cushions it really nicely. I mean, I don't want to go over the top, you should probably score from there. But it wasn't an easy header, and he tucked it away very nicely. But I think particularly what I like about it is he clearly goes forward with the intention of doing something.
Yeah.
And how many times do we watch Rio Ferdinand tramp up there to do absolutely jack shit? And I always thought, because when he gets old and Everett starts going instead, as the last season, basically under Fergie, and Everett starts scoring goals, used to be a centre forward. And it's just if he'd been going forward all this time and Rio had been staying back there, then we would have scored some more goals, and Wolves has just scored against Newcastle. This is turning into not a bad weekend for the famous Man United, actually.
Ferdinand did score at the Kop, so we'll give him that.
No, he didn't.
Oh, no, it's Old Trafford, wasn't it? So, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Sorry, just onto this still. I think he got done once, but generally he defends the box well, and he knows what to do. And that is quite important. And we've had centre-backs previously whose physical flaws were so pronounced. And I know De Ligt isn't as quick as we'd like him to be, but he's quicker than Maguire by many, and Lindelof, and he's more physical than both of them, I think, as well. Even though Maguire's a big lad, it's not, this I think is more explosive. So, I don't know if he's going to be a United legend or any of the rest of it, but he's definitely an improvement. And there's actually some competition for places there as well.
He is good enough. Again, Euro will be back in sort of November time, and we can ease him in with a few easy games in the Europa League or something like that, which is, now competition for places. Lindelof will get binned off, maybe even in January, depending on Euro's integration into the squads. I mean, Lindelof's out of contract next summer anyway. Who cares about him? Johnny Evans came on yesterday. Amazing. He's still hanging around, but good for him. Had a few minutes. I mean, of the rest of the team, I can't really pull out a bad performance. I think there's a lot of highlights. I mean, I'm not saying they're all brilliant, but obviously Marcus like some of the stuff he'd been doing in previous games, like even in the Liverpool game, where he's just like, you look at him going, yeah, there's something about to happen there, I feel. And he obviously did a lot of personal training, put out the videos and stuff over the international break. He's trying to get confidence, and he just looked a bit more confident, especially the way he took the goal as well. I mean, that was the finish of a player that felt confident.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we know, like, this is why I find sometimes the people that get after him are so odd, in the sense that we know how good he can be. And it doesn't mean I wouldn't necessarily, if we got a big offer this summer, I probably might well have taken it. But the presentation of him as some kind of useless piece of shit is just absurd, because we know that it isn't true. And we also know, if we watch the way that he plays and the way that United play, that over the last 2 seasons, it hasn't been geared to get the most from him. Now, yesterday was a bit better. He was a bit narrower, but also it's also to do with him. Like, I remember there was a moment in the Liverpool game where it looks like he's away and he checks to go back inside. He's a player that just has to do things quickly as they come to him. And he was much better at that yesterday. He was much more decisive in possession. Like, one of the things we see from him, and I think the major difference between him and Garnacho, is that Garnacho, when he gets on the ball, has a plan, and he tries to execute it, and it either works or it doesn't. Whereas Rashford, you see him, he goes down the left side of the box, he feints inside, he ducks outside, and it feels like he's making it up as he goes along. And he very rarely gets anything out of those situations. But when he decides what he's going to do and he commits to it, I think that is when, aside from the positional issues and the issues of combinations, depending on who else is with him, but it's that ability to decide what you're going to do and commit to it. And when he's playing his best, or when he's contributing, that's the main difference, I think, between that and when he isn't.
I mean, I totally agree with you about playing more narrowly. He's going to get in much better positions. Obviously, Luke Shaw, when and if he is back, helps that a lot, because you have someone like on the touchline. I can't wait for that to happen. I think he'll get in much better positions and get more opportunities to score. The checking back against Liverpool when he got booed, I just don't know about that one, because of course we want Rashford to attack, but that's also when he gets all the memes on the internet and a fucking Goldbridge bouncing up and down going, oh, look, he's not able to beat his man again. And the kind of campaign that has been launched against him, which, as I understand, he hates and he blames a certain channel for, is like completely unfair, and is kind of in a situation where he can't win unless he's scoring goals, right? And scoring goals makes the narrative completely different, and obviously gives him a lot of confidence. You see him running at players after that, and kind of, I think that made a big difference to him. He's like, oh yeah, the work I've put in has paid off.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure that he'll play in midweek, but I'd be really tempted to start him in midweek, because it's an opportunity for him to score again.
True. Yeah. He probably won't. I mean, the one player I really hope doesn't play in midweek is Kobbie Mainoo, because I just think it looks like there's a touch of fatigue going on with him. I thought he was fine again. I want him to get like 80 passes a game. And United don't build up that way, so it's hard for him to do that. But I just want him more involved, because everything is high quality when he is involved. So there's no reason. You look at Angel Gomez in the England game against Finland, 116 passes. No reason why Kobbie Mainoo can't be that player that everything's going through. And maybe he'll get that opportunity when Ugate's in the side, and it's Ugate doing the covering and tackling.
Funny you say that, because actually what Gomez did in that England game was not unreminiscent of what I think United want Ugate to do. That he was a lot of the time ahead of the ball, trying to regain it, but the rest of the time he was sort of the deepest midfield there, just trying to give it. I mean, he's obviously like looks nicer in possession than Ugate, but Ugate can carry the ball. And one thing that I did notice yesterday that was, if you look at the red card, it comes just from a really sensible, accurate pass, simple pass out of defence to someone in space. Yeah. Casemiro's hut the bug swatch there, and just smashed it into someone's legs or out miles to the touchline. But obviously it was a ridiculous tackle. But what brought it about was one of the things that Ugarte brings that we don't have, and that's just calm, composed passing out of possession. And what that does, I think, is if you have, obviously it's nice to have someone who can hit brilliant passes between the lines from deep, but really United's best players are in front of that. So what you don't mind doing is just a simple pass, and then when you get those better players on the ball, they're further forward. And I think that is going to be helpful with Ugarte, just a simple pass out of defence, and then the better players can do something. And one of the things that I've noticed in the previous games this season, particularly the last two, was that the two best players in this team are Mainu and Bruno, but our tactics have almost been designed to keep them out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also a problem with Mainu in particular. Like, he's not quite good enough at getting himself on the ball yet. It'll come, but he's not quite good enough at that yet. But what's been the case is we've had so many long balls and so many quick transitions that really, and a lot of them are coming from defence to the forwards. Bruno's really struggled to get into the game. He's been hanging about on the touchline, and Mainu also mooching about. And as you say, like when he contributes, when he's on the ball, it's excellent, but there's too much time when he's not on it. And I think that Ugarte is going to help that, because where he allows them to get on the ball, they'll be more confident that if they lose it, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, Mainu has made more interceptions than any other player in the Premier League this season. Right? It's your number 8 should not be the leading interceptor, but he has that. I mean, and that's an extra quality. He's a very hard player to pin down on just data, because he contributes a lot in everything. I just want him on the ball more, and if Ugarte allows that to happen, or there were signs that United were trying to build up a little more through midfield, because we are very one-dimensional. Like, it's going to go quite quickly into wide areas. And if United can add other string to the bow and be able to build up through midfield, and if Ugarte helps that, I mean, obviously he's not the second coming of Andrea Pirlo or anything like that. He's going to be
the most overrated player of all time, Pirlo.
Yeah, but or Michael Carrick or whatever. He's not that kind of player. But if he's able to give it simply and get Mainu involved, I think we'll be better for it.
So, what did you make of Ahmad?
I mean, I thought it was good. It's very direct. I like they got the ball to him quickly. I do think it helps that Mazraoui's on that side as well. I haven't seen the pass maps, but I would imagine that there's quite a good connection between the two of them there. And he cuts inside. He plays those wall passes. He's kind of what Sancho should have been, but isn't.
Did you see? I read on Twitter last evening, Sancho's got an assist. And I see what it is.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad pass, quite a good pass into the box, but the guy's got his back to goal with fair defenders behind him. There's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
To call that an assist, I mean, good luck, guys, if that's what you want from Sancho. But
assists should be weighted, because, someone got an assist for John Duran's goal for Aston Villa, I presume. 3-yard pass and bang one in from 30 yards or whatever. Yes. But anyway, Ahmad is what Sancho should have been. He's not fully formed. I don't know whether a title-winning Manchester United side would include this guy in there. I'd like him to score more goals. He's going to have to if he's one of United's 3 forwards. He doesn't look like he's getting into positions to score a lot of goals. But then again, neither do many United players. Part of our problem, isn't it?
I mean, I think, what we have a lot of players who are good enough to be one of the least good players in a title-winning team. Now, if you put some of these guys in a really proper team, they'd be fine. The question is whether we have enough of the ones that are good enough to really make it happen, and that remains to be seen. But I'm enjoying Ahmad, actually, I must say. I think he's brave. I think he wants the ball. I think he's not scared of doing things with the ball. He's little, but he's not soft. He's quicker than he looks. I think there's quite a lot to work with, because what he gives us is it gives a bit more control. He looks to keep the ball. He doesn't just look to play a Hollywood pass or just to give it away. He looks to get on the ball, looks to give it, looks to follow it, so that he's in a position to then still be involved in the game. I feels like he is now United's right winger.
I mean,
apart from Harry Maguire.
Oh dear, Tory boy. He is. He's in possession. Anthony came on very late. Anthony will give us nothing. 2 goals and 1 assist last season. I think maybe it was 8 and 6 or something the season before, which isn't horrendous. But yeah, he's the man in possession. I'd like more goals from him. Hopefully it'll come, but his all-round play is very good. So
yeah, I mean, this is the thing, and it's come back to that Xerxes thing as well. Like you see people comparing him, say, to Firmino. The difference, obviously, is that Firmino had 2 players on either side of him who could be relied upon to score the number of goals that you need to challenge for the title, and we don't really have that. So if Xerxes scores like 8 league goals or some shit, someone else is going to have to get involved. And I mean, Bruno hasn't scored yet this season, has he?
No, I don't think so.
But you can see that there's plenty to work with. The problem has always been with Ten Hag, or one of the problems, that better players is an answer, and it's a pretty good one given the donkeys that he got stuck with to begin with. But it can't be the only answer. And it felt like what we saw yesterday is much closer to the way that they're going to have to play, to win games, but also for him to stay in the job than what we saw against Liverpool and against Brighton in the second half.
Yeah, they didn't do a lot of pressing yesterday, and it looked more like Ten Hag of the first season of Ten Hag. And I do wonder whether they just thought they're thinking about reducing the chaos in order to get some results, because I'm sure he's smart enough, right? Ten Hag, he must know he's got no credit in the bank. Like he says, he talks about the trophies, but that's not what he's going to get judged on. And losing heavily to Liverpool and a series of fairly difficult games coming up, he's got to know that get to December and we've lost 10 games, that he's going to be in a real trouble. And so I just did wonder whether they went back to sort of the old plan A for a little bit of this game.
I mean, I thought the second half was not so much like that, because it's not so much defined by the pressing as what you're trying to do in possession.
Yeah, had a lot of possession, obviously, that second half, yeah. And
pressing as a tactic is sort of, no one's pressing, even the teams that press really hard aren't pressing as high and as hard as they used to. One of the things I think Liverpool did against us was they didn't press Onana so much, because I feel like they think maybe that he's quite good on the ball, but it's more that as soon as the ball went to the sort of the first receiver, that was when Liverpool stepped on, and that sort of gave them an opportunity to win it a little bit lower down, but still high enough to be dangerous. And it felt like United were doing a little bit more of that. And they actually, I think they sort of moved Bruno a little bit further forward after a while to kind of try and box Southampton in. And they got a bit better at doing that after the first half an hour or so. But I mean, all in all, they were still got that, if the penalty goes in, then what? Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
But it didn't. And we've been much better. We were much better yesterday, and it looked like we were a team that could get good. And presumably, Ugarte will play the next game.
He'll play back against Barnsley on Tuesday night. Surely, I mean, he needs the minutes. I mean, he had 60 or 70 minutes, and then 90 minutes for Uruguay in the international break. 15 yesterday for United, so he's getting there. Obviously, he played Copa America, but then had a month off. So,
also Garnacho.
Yeah.
His goal actually reminded me of a goal that Scholes scored. Someone will probably know which one I'm talking about. I feel like it might have been at home to Sunderland, but I couldn't be sure. But generally, like bleaching your hair, right? That's something you do once. Like you do it for a bit of a laugh, but he's done it again.
Yeah.
It does. Are we now saying this is what he's doing?
Apparently, yeah. Not a big fan of the bleached hair. I wouldn't do it myself.
I did as many stupid things with my hair as I possibly could when I was a bit younger than him. But I also, meanwhile, Eric Ten Hag was wearing beige trousers and a black coat, which was an extremely strange look. And I mean, mainly when I see someone wearing trousers like that, I'm thinking, you've got to be very careful. You've got to shape very well. We had a teacher at school, Mr. Pickenell. Wayne, his name was Wayne Pickenell, and a politics A-level teacher. He was a supply teacher because our teacher went on maternity leave. And I mean, you can only imagine what was the things that were said to this poor individual. But there was one occasion where he comes back after lunch and he's wearing trousers of that colour, and he has not been careful in his shaking. And this is announced to him. This is announced to him in front of the class that he should perhaps take more care in future. So I always think of Wayne Waz when I see.
That'd be embarrassing if Ten Hag had come out with a bit of a pea stain. That would have been not good. All the memes.
He gave quite a funny answer as well. And he got asked about why he wasn't playing Casemiro, and he explains it. And then she basically asked him the same question again. And he says, as I explained very well. I gave you an excellent answer as to why I've done this.
No, fuck off, yeah.
But it is strange that he brought Eriksen in, I guess. I guess he felt he just had to leave Casemiro out.
I guess so, yeah. It was such a disaster. Casemiro played a beautiful ball inside the fullback and the central defender for Dalot for the third goal to cut back. I mean, it was beautiful construction. He'd been on like 2 minutes, and
that's where we want him. That's basically what he should now be.
And that's why
Ugarte can play every game, pretty much every game that matters. And Casemiro is someone that you bring on or you play instead of Mainu when you want to rest him, because he won't give you the same, but he gives you something in both boxes and around. And
he's just so much better when he's fresher, Casemiro. I mean, just so much better. He can't play 2 games a week, I don't think, anymore. But yeah, so he had the whole of the international break off. He played 5 minutes of this game. Will he play against Barnsley? It seems pointless, actually.
It seems. That. I mean, if you've kept Collier and not sent him out on loan, you don't play him in this game. What's really the point in that? I would probably play Collier and Ugarte.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, what's Mount doing? Where is he?
Mount's not fit yet, I don't think. So there were, just to wrap, since we're talking about injuries, De Ligt hobbled off. He said to the TV afterwards that it was cramp. So
he's fine.
And Martinez also came off. And it looked like they were going to take him off. Then he said no, and then they did take him off. Anyway, touch wood, that is not an injury.
It doesn't feel like there wasn't a lot of internet flapping. It doesn't feel like these things will be massive problems. But he Mazraoui is also looking a very useful addition. He lacks a little bit athletically, but he's a proper footballer. He wants to take the ball. He's not scared.
Yeah. And
he's got a really good brain. You can see he's
lots about him. Be interesting when Shaw's back. What happens with that right back spot? Who gets it? Dalot, who's, I think he's doing all right. I mean, he has developed into an all-round player. He doesn't make a lot of cock-ups. I mean, he did get absolutely skinned by, what's his name? I forget, the right-sided forward for the young kid.
Dibbling,
that's it. Yeah, he got completely skinned by him early in the game.
And then claimed he got the ball for the penalty.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, I completely forgot about that. Yes, he was absolutely miles away from the ball.
My wife's in the room next door working, and I've just received 3 messages telling me I'm too loud. And I'm thinking, we've been together since 2008. It's a bit late for that.
Oh, dear. Yeah, lovely getting a text message from your wife saying, be quieter.
You're too loud. I mean, we know this. And, it's congenital.
You're a podcaster, so... All right. Well, that's it. I mean, good performance from United. Isn't it nice not to talk about, as you would say, a bunch of dickheads for once?
I mean, I haven't quite absolved them of that yet.
I mean, because we well know that they can return to dickheaded.
Yeah, I'm not absolving myself, so I'm definitely not absolving them.
But who would you bring in against Barnsley then? What does the kind of team look like?
Okay, so my team is, I'm going Onana, I guess, or might as well play Bayindir, I guess.
I mean, he's had one game in over a year, yeah.
Newport, wasn't it? What's the point? I guess Maguire, definitely not playing Martinez, but I don't really want to play Maguire and De Ligt together very much.
We haven't had, I guess De Ligt will get a rest.
Maguire and Evans.
We haven't got any younger defenders, have we, since Cambualo went?
No, so Maguire and Evans. Then what fullbacks do we even have?
I mean, from the ones that are playing, basically.
Yeah, I don't really want to play either of them. I'm not playing either of them. I'm playing whoever happens to be knocking about, probably.
I don't think we've got any options.
Yeah. Then in midfield, I'm going Collier, Ugarte, and I don't know. So definitely not playing Bruno. Who else have we got? Who could legitimately play midfield? It isn't Bruno or Mainu. I guess maybe I am playing Casemiro. I'm playing those 3.
Casemiro and Collier.
Casemiro, Collier, Ugarte. That's my 3. And then the front 3, I'm thinking about playing Xerxes because he probably still needs games. and could you do with another goal? So, yeah, I would probably go Rashford, Xerxes,
Garnacho.
and Garnacho.
Hasn't started a game this season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit too strong for Barnsley at home in the Carabao Cup, isn't
But
it?
which children do we have that we would play in this game, really, that are ready?
No, it's Collier's the closest.
Yeah, and there isn't really anyone else. So, I think, I mean, it feels like, I mean, unless you just play more of a full strength team, play Bruno and Manu for a half and take them off.
I mean, Bruno never gets a rest, but surely he needs one.
I just want them at home. It's not just a physical.
I wonder
thing.
whether Harry Amos might play. I mean, he's fit, and
yeah. I forgot about him. I'd play him. Yeah, he'll do.
Toby Collier, Dangor, did he go out on loan? Can't remember now.
I mean, I guess you might play. You could play Ericsson again if you don't want to disgrace Casemiro by making him play in this game. But yeah, I mean, I'd happy to play Harry Amos to left back.
Remember when Paul Scholes refused to play in a Carling Cup game?
I was there.
Yeah,
that was a really strange week. There was that because we got beaten at Anfield on the Sunday, then we go and lose 4-0 at Arsenal on the Monday, and it's just week only 2 days old. They conceded 7 times.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Because I think what happened was because they draw Arsenal, and what happens is I think this feels like there might be an agreement that they'll all play second string teams, and it's in that sort of period where United don't really have any strength and depth. So it's like your Alex Notmans and your Jimmy Davises. Like, I can't even remember what the team was that day. And Arsenal play Canu and Wiltord. And obviously they take the piss. I think they lose 4-0. I think, does Wiltord score a hat-trick? Can you score a hat-trick?
Yeah,
Someone
I don't
does.
remember, yeah. But yeah.
Someone does. But yeah, like that. I remember that Liverpool game that was the day before was miserable as well. The cop singing, "There's only one Yap Stam," as we managed. Like we go 2-0 down, and then Beckham scores, and then we just toss in another one just almost immediately. And I guess that was maybe the day where you thought, "Oh, are we gonna?" I mean, it's early in the season; it's November. But you're like, "Oh, are we not gonna win the league this season?" Because it had been so long since that had happened. Oh.
Yeah,
this is strange.
Well, I wonder whether we'll have a go at the Carling Cup again this year. I mean, sure,
he will definitely be taking that seriously.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to. I mean, he's put so much store in cups, hasn't he?
Cup triumphs.
Cup triumphs. Yeah, cup titles. I think he called it as well. I won 2 titles. No, you haven't. I was just thinking, is Ethan Wheatley still at the club, or did he go out on loan? Because he may be involved as well. Maybe not starting, but
yeah, I think he's there. But
yeah,
it's just that cross between trying to keep some momentum, like make sure you win, make sure it doesn't get dicey at the end, and you end up with your best players having to flog themselves through a game with maybe some extra time. Which, I mean, we've seen bullshit like this before. Does it go to extra time?
I think they might.
Actually, no,
I think they killed the extra time now.
Yeah, no extra time till the semis. So at least they're right. I thought make you feel at home. No extra. I thought there'd be no extra time yet. So then it's just penalties, which means you do sort of have to win it in 90.
Yeah.
I remember that game under Van Gaal where it's in that dreadful week where they draw 0-0 with City and then they draw 0-0 with Borough and lose on penalties. And I was in Jamaica for work, and I'd driven from a driver who'd taken me from Montego Bay to Kingston. And you know that if you leave at a certain hour, you'll get back in whatever it was. But if you wait, then you'll get back in many, many, many hours later, because that's when the traffic is. And there's a place called Scotches, like that's your best jerk place. So we're in Scotches and the game's on. And I was just like, said to the driver, "I'm so sorry, but I'm ill. And unfortunately, we have to stay here and watch this game." So we stay in Scotches and we watch United draw 0-0 with Borough, then lose on penalties. And it takes like 19 hours to get back to Mobay. And yeah, that was sort of around the time where I was like, yeah, this is definitely not happening with this manager. And he obviously then lasts the whole another year after that. My best part of the season, like the whole season, I mean, after that.
It's worked out well having Dutch managers for United. All right, Barnsley in the Cup, then Palace in the league. Then we get into the world's longest competition, which is the Europa League. So 20 at home should be an easy start. And then we got Spurs. I mean, it's kind of I think it's something like 7 games in the next 22 days. It's a lot of games anyway.
Spurs are actually the sort of team that we have the players to really smash up if we can be sensible. But
yeah. Spurs who build up beautifully and then have got absolutely nothing up front. But
also a very high line.
Yeah.
That is exactly what United want. I mean, and Bissouma's injured as well, isn't he? I mean, maybe he won't still be injured then, but them not having him makes quite a big difference, I think.
Yeah, anyway, three games that United would like to win before that, I think. So, and Ten Hag would definitely like it to keep the pressure off.
I mean, the one they really need to win is that Palace game.
Yeah.
And it would be embarrassing if they were to get knocked out of the League Cup with Barnsley, but it just seems like... I remember the last time we played Barnsley when people were stealing pies and someone ran on the pitch and scored past Ben Foster. It was, when would that have been? 09-10,
I think it was more than a decade ago, yeah. No, yeah. What is that?
But Barnsley almost went up last year, I think.
I forget who the manager is, honestly. I mean, they should have done the research.
Danny Wilson?
Danny Wilson still, yeah.
They can't still with Danny Wilson. It's definitely not Danny Wilson. But let's find out who it is. I mean, the truth is it'll be someone we haven't heard of. Is it not just, does Paul Heckingbottom just not go around these teams managing all of them at the same time?
He does.
The manager is called, I don't know if his name is Darrell Clark or Darrell Clark, because he spells Darrell, Darrell.
Wow.
Darrell Clark.
Don't recognise him at all. So
she says that he's head coach, so maybe he's not a manager. But yeah, and he had a career where he played for Mansfield Town, Hartlepool United, followed by loan spells at Stockport, Port Vale and Rochdale, before then joining Salisbury City.
Top stuff. What a career. Well, awesome. I don't know whether this one's sold out. I think it's one of those ones where, because Barnsley get a cut, they were not willing to drop the prices. So I think everyone's playing full whack, and Barnsley fans are playing quite a bit, paying like 40 quid to go to this one. I presume they'll have a good following, just because it's an opportunity for them to come to Old Trafford, which they haven't been to for many moons. So,
but the year that they were in the Premier League, as I recall,
it's just the 1 year, right?
Did they win at Anfield? I think they beat Liverpool either way. I'm not sure if they won at Anfield, but I'm pretty sure they beat Liverpool. But yeah, I mean, it would be kind of amusing, I guess, if we managed to not win that game, but we will probably win that game.
I think we will. I think that's about it for the week.
I think we've got a chance.
Yeah, we've got a chance. Yeah, mighty Ten Hag and his mighty team will do something in this one. All right, we'll leave it there. We'll be back in midweek for another one of these to review the Barnsley game and our mighty victory in the now seeded Carling Cup, Carabao Cup, whatever it's called. Thanks, everyone, for listening. You can catch us on the socials. Daniel Harris. I'm at NQAT Pod. We're on Threads, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky. And you can catch these on YouTube too. And if you really like us, you can get our bonus shows, including the Tactics Show, which will be tomorrow on Patreon. Many thanks. Catch you later.
Please.